Afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. This is the press conference for the squad announcement for the upcoming friendly international against France. For members of the media that are joining in, we kindly ask that you put your microphone on mute. And also, from the video aspect of things, if you are not properly attired, we kindly ask as well that you turn off your video so as not to disturb others in this press conference. Again, thank you very much for your presence. It is greatly appreciated as we look forward to what lies ahead for our senior women's national team, not only next week, but for the remainder of this calendar year as well, and what lies ahead for next year. Before we get some opening remarks from head coach of the senior women's national team, Hubert Busley, firstly, we just want to touch on what lies ahead. And of course, next week, Friday, it's a friendly international against France. Of course, a country and an opponent that will live long in the memory of Jamaicans, as Jamaica's first ever point at a Women's World Cup came against the French. And of course, we know our first World Cup appearance for men and women came in France as well. So great memories in that aspect of things. And of course, in November, November 29 and December 2, two friendly internationals on home soil against Banyana Banyana. That is the South Africa women's national team. And that will be November 29 and December 2. 2025, an exciting year, not only for the men, but for the women as well, as the women kickstart proceedings for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers. Again, similarly to the 2023 format, it's a 32 team tournament. CONCACAF has four spots, and two teams will head to the intercontinental playoffs. So that's some basic information so that everybody's aware. So firstly, let's get into some opening remarks from our head coach, Busby. Coach Busby, good afternoon to you, sir. I hope you're doing well. Let's just start off with how the last couple of months have been since the Brazil camps in the summer, what has taken place, and of course, many would know as well the similarities, of course, with you and Coach McClaring having represented Oxford United in England as well. How has it been meeting him as well? And of course, what the last few months have been for you and the rest of the technical staff of the women's national team.
Yes, thanks, Simon. Afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you taking the times out of your busy schedules to join us here this afternoon. Um, yeah, we're looking forward to this match versus France. Since the last time we got together in Brazil in May and into June, the players have kind of settled into their clubs. It's been an extended break within due to the Olympics. So when we kind of last time got together, a lot of the players were coming off of or just coming off a vacation and coming back to get ready to play. So it was a little different playing rhythm to us. And look, we knew, going into those games against Brazil that they were going to be tough matches. They were getting ready to play in the Olympics, and we saw how great they did in the Olympics as well. And even with their new sort of cycle that they begun. So we'll continue with our cycle. This is all in preparation for the World Cup in 2027. We're excited to be playing these matches. I think if you'd have said, 3 years ago that the likes of Brazil and France are reaching out to play matches against Jamaica on a regular basis, yes, there might be some revenge factor in those in those teams wanting to play. But overall, it's just a testament to how far this program has come, and more importantly, really how far we still need to go as well. So as we kind of set up this charted this course in terms of how we're going to get to this World Cup, one of the things that we really wanted to do is ensure that we are deliberate in the games that we're playing and trying to play as many top 10, top 20 opponents as possible to ensure that we are tested heading into World Cup qualifiers and arguably, one of the top confederations, in the world when it comes to women's football. So, a lot of work has been gone into it, and obviously we're looking forward to this camp. And looking forward to taking a look at some players and embedding some new staff the, into the program as well. So I'll kind of touch base on that a little bit later on in our discussion here. But yeah, thanks for joining us here again.
Yeah, so before we unveil the squad list, coach, just wanted to get your reactions briefly. Persons would have been aware that you were in England recently. What was that experience in like keeping tabs of our players that play their trade in Europe? How was that experience and also mingling with the staff as well on the men's side of things?
Yes, we had a really positive trip last month. Our assistant coach and analyst, Sanford Kerman, and I made a trip to the UK to check in on players as well as speak with new prospective players, met with a few clubs. Obviously, we had a chance to view some really good games. So obviously, Bunny played live in at the Emirates on opening day. Obviously, Drew and Becky as well on the same day, making two games in one. And then just speaking with some players and trying to get them games. We were able to go up. Bunny hosted us up in Manchester for her Champions League game, which was really good. It was great to see her open her Champions League account on the day as well. So, yeah, it's been overall positive. And while over there, I had a chance to sit down with the bench staff and discuss in ways in terms of how we can continue to grow collectively and collaboratively in terms of making sure that our programs are the best in the region. So overall, very positive, and yeah, may the collaboration and the good workflows continue.
All right, wonderful. So for members of the media, momentarily you will be able to see on your screen the squad for the match against France. So what we're going to ask now, Coach Busby, is that you go through together some of the new faces so that persons are aware and some of those conversations and how excited you are looking forward to these upcoming matches.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. I think first of all, obviously, we're missing a lot or most of our college players. So, as I alluded to before, our pool is grown exponentially. To close to 60 players. Um, the issue we have with our college kids, over 20 odd players at the Division One level, they're in the midst of their college season right now. So it's very difficult to get them released for that, as the FIFA has no jurisdiction over the NCAA. But more importantly, we want to ensure that the players are not being put in a situation where they have to choose between staying in school and come. They all want to represent their country, but we also have a really good relationship with those colleges, and we want to respect the idea that a lot of these schools are looking to compete for a national championship. So that sort of eludes most of the players from the college unless they've had a previous sort of conversation with their college coach and us saying that that would be okay. So in this squad, look, obviously the most notable one obviously is Bunny. We spoke last week. She has an issue that kind of limits her travel with her passport. So she's going to try to look to get that rectified next week. So that's why she's not in the squad. And similarly with the likes of Kanya. So hopefully we get that resolved and we can have them for the next window. But again, provides an opportunity for us to bring in some new players to evaluate within this phase of the program. So we're really excited. We'd spoken to Taylor Hines a few years ago, and the captain of Liverpool. We're glad that she's in our squad to make up, to come in and embed within what we're trying to do. Lulu Jarvis is another young player that we've been monitoring. Just made a move from Brighton to Plymouth at 20 years of age. She's another up and coming player. The same with Rihanna Blades, who is on the books of Chelsea, who's just moved to Burnley. I credit a lot of these players who've, it might be looked at dropping down a level, but they're looking to invest in themselves and to play as opposed to necessarily, um, you know, stunt their growth and development by staying made what would be considered a bigger club, but not necessarily getting the minutes that they need. And as we know, that's vitally important coming into international football, is that players are playing meaningful minutes week in, week out, which is good to see that all our players are doing so now. And that's credit to all of them and all the hard work that they've put in to be a regular in their team. So may that continue. Natasha Thomas is someone who's kind of reached out. We've been monitoring her well, so we're looking to bring her in and see how she fits in. Davia Richards has come through the program. Is shown well with Fraser's Whip. through all those different experiences. We're looking to see how she beds in well with this group as well. And we continue to evaluate all the players from the Gold Cup. Again, a lot of those are in college all the way through up until Brazil, and we'll continue to do so as we head into the South Africa matches. All right.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Much appreciated. There, as you can see on your screen, folks, the squad on your screen. What we ask at this point in time, please raise your hand. Raise your hand at this point, any questions you have towards Coach Busby, and I will indicate your presence, and then we can commence in this question and answer segment. All right, so we can proceed in terms of the questions. Please raise your hand, and then we can be able to get into the questions based on you see on the screen. So let's start things off with Matthew McAnuff Jones. So Matthew, go ahead and pose your question to Coach Busby.
Good afternoon, Coach Busby.
All right,
Uh,
good.
we know that Kiki Van Zenten, she had a season-ending injury. I just want to know if you've had any conversations with her in regards to her update, regards to an update from her, and what are her prospects looking forward in the future in terms of her reemergence into the Reggae Girls fold.
Yeah, that's a good question. Look, we're very fortunate. Our high performance coach, strength and agility conditioning coach, she actually works for the Houston Dash, so she sees Kiki every day, and so obviously she provides in any updates as they come. But she's back on the field now. I think running. She's still a ways away, but she's making great progress, and she's been fantastic. And so yeah, it's been good to get those sort of updates. Just more importantly, she's doing well. From a mental perspective as well, and she's working her way back. So yeah, we hope to have her back. If not for the next camp, might be a little bit too soon still, but definitely heading into the new year. So yeah, she's making progress for sure.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Appreciate that. So let's go to Dre. You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Coach. This is Andre from Dre Anywhere Sports. So my question is, if you guys are hearing me clearly,
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you.
okay. So my question is, with these two friendlies, how important is result, and what are you looking for from these two games? And also, secondly, with the FSU team, because I follow them here in the state, we had three Reggae girls starting in the starting 11 in their match yesterday, which I'm very optimistic about seeing that chemistry transferred over into the national team. What are your thoughts on that also?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Coach,
well,
let me just interject for a second, Coach. Just a clarification, Dre. It's one match against France. It's not two. The two matches is against South Africa. You can go ahead, Coach.
yeah. Thanks, Sam. That's what I was going to allude to as well. So yeah, thanks for the question, Dre. Good question. As far as the FSU player is concerned, like I said, each week, just to kind of give you a background, each week, each member of my staff, as well as myself, we're assigned to look at each departments, whether it be defenders, midfielders, forwards, goalkeepers, and we monitor them and we update it in a sort of database that we have to make running notes on each and every week. So, every single player who is playing college or every single player who's playing overseas, we have a running information about how they are. We watch them, we review them, and that's how we make our decisions. So, yeah, every week we get a chance to watch FSU twice. They're doing extremely well. Obviously, they've in a competitive conference at the end, they've dropped some games recently, but they're all doing extremely well and playing significant minutes and contributing as you alluded to a team that's looking to compete for a national championship. And yeah, that chemistry is always going to bode well because there's familiarity there. So having taken what they have and sort of embedding that into the group when they eventually come back will be good as well. And yeah, we're looking forward to see what sort of run they go on into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Coach. Andre had asked an earlier question about the expectation for this game, so you can touch on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, thanks for as well. The expectations really is for us to, continue to work on our playing model. I think it's important for us to also continue to build on our playing principles so that we can ensure that we're flexible, in and out of possession. We want to be a team that continues to use and has been known for a good defensive base. So the most important thing is yes, results are always the main thing at senior international play. But the longer term, the picture is for us to be successful come next time this year when we're in October in our first round of qualifying for the World Cup. I think that's really the main goal is for us to be, you know, to be peaking at that sort of time heading into those qualifiers. So yeah, that's sort of the objectives of this match. So we continue to build on what we're looking to do in a year's time.
Okay, any other questions from members of the media? Please raise your hand and indicate to Coach Busby. In the meantime, Coach, there was a question online in relation to members of staff for the Reggae Girls. Is there anything you want to touch on that with updates, additions on that element?
Yeah, so the two additions we've brought in, I kind of alluded to one. Our SNC coach, high performance coach, will be Renee Balconi. Renee comes from us from the Houston Dash. I've known Renee for years when she's worked at LSU on staff there, the women's side with my wife. So I've known her very well. And we're really pleased to have her involved with the program. And like I said, she's working in a professional women's environment. So she'll be joining us for this camp. And the other one is a name very familiar to everybody in Jamaica. We always kind of give them the gears every time we're on a call. But Dion Burton is coming on involved to be our one of the assistant coaches as well, and primarily work with our forwards. As you can see, we've got an incredibly talented group and led by one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. So why not have them come in and work with obviously a player who's played in the Premiership, knows the league. He's there as well, which is a big bonus for us because it gets Dion to go and see some of the games in person when he can, when he's not coaching with the U21s at West Brom. So we're excited to bring him on board and all his expertise, and of course, he's so excited to be back and giving back to the country that's given him so much as well. So we're excited to have him on staff. Coach Gilbert will be there as well. Andrew Sewell and Sanford Carabin, who I alluded to earlier, rounds out the technical team.
All right, thank you for that. Livingston Scott from the Gleaner, you can proceed. Go ahead.
Yes, coach, just wanted to know how that agreement came about with Burton and if he will be on the bench with you for this coming game against France.
Yeah, no, listen, obviously a lot of the old boys, I've known Burton from back in the days, and I saw him actually last year, and I hadn't seen him or spoke from over 10 years, but I saw him last year and we kind of remained in contact since then. And yeah, when we were kind of when I was reappointed, we spoke about some things, and then I just asked him. I said, "Hey, listen, one of the things I really want to improve on you know, is in terms of our playing models is for us to be a little bit better in front of goal. Like I said, one of the things for us as a staff is to ensure like we have one of the best players in the world, and scoring goals is important, but it's not just one people creating goals, creating opportunities. And so, in speaking with him, I asked him if he wanted to be on board, to come on board with the new staff, and yeah, he was excited to come in and be a part of the group. And last month when we were in the UK looking at players, Sanford and he accompanied us to a lot of games as well, kind of getting to know some of the players and getting to know some of the players in the pool, which obviously helps a lot with him being in the UK Pleasant currently. So yeah, we're excited to have him on board and excited to have him back, with Jamaica and being on the bench with us against France.
Could you get an idea of is he qualified coaching wise? Could you get an idea of what his qualification is?
Yeah, he's an A licensed coach. He works at West Brom's U21. He's been on the bench with the first team as well. So yeah, he's a UEFA A licensed coach. So he's definitely more than qualified for sure.
All right, thank you very much, Livy. Do we have any more questions from members of the media? Jason, you had your microphone open. Did you have something you wanted to say? Okay, he says, no, I'm good, thanks. Okay, all right. Members of the media, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate you being here. Just a gentle reminder, the fixture is next week, Friday. That's the 25th. 2:05 Jamaica time is the kickoff. And this recording as well will be sent to the media group quite shortly. Again, we want to thank Coach Busby for his time and safe journey towards France for the upcoming friendly. And of course, we'll provide details in relation to the South Africa friendlies when the media accreditation window opens up as well. So to all members of the media, thank you very much for being here. Have a safe and pleasant rest of the day. Enjoy the weekend. And of course, with the public holiday on Monday as well, continue